And the seed bombs have seeds specifically for wildflowers found in our area, which is very important. So
So as Miss Allie said, my name is Julie, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. And my background is I study the environment. So I just wanted to give you a few fun facts about me, or at least I think they're fun. So my favorite flower, since we're talking about wildflowers today, is from this tree called the tulip poplar. So here's a picture right here in case you haven't seen it, but it's really beautiful and yellow. And I also wanted to share that my favorite book when I was younger was called The Forest Child. And it's because there's this one little picture in there where the child's in the stream, surrounded by all the forest animals and feels safe. So I wanted to share that with all of you. But as Allie said, I'm going to be talking about pollinators and wildflowers today. So I'm titling this The Not So Picky Pollinators and Their Flower Friends. So in my title, I'm talking about flowers, which we can see flowers here in this image, right? These big yellow flowers, but also pollinators. Has anyone heard of pollinators before? Yeah? Yeah, you're very right. So they find food in the flowers, but they also help the flowers produce more flowers. And does anyone know maybe what the pollinator is in this picture? Oh, yeah, just a couple. The bees. Nice. So we got the flowers and the not very picky pollinators, which in this case are the bees. So, as we said, pollinators, they can be bees. They can also be butterflies, hummingbirds, and then there's not very popular pollinators, but they're also really important, like bats, beetles, snails, and ants, and wasps. And they all help plants make fruit and seeds, which helps make more plants by moving the pollen from plant to plant. And this pollen is the food, and so is the nectar, like you were saying. So some plants, they give both pollen and nectar, which is like sweet juice almost for the bugs or the birds. And they help out each other. So these not so picky pollinators need many types of food. Because if you think, when you go outside, we sometimes see one type of flower, but they don't last forever, right? Eventually flowers will. But these pollinators, they still need food. So there has to be flowers that flower all during the year, from spring to summer. So if you go outside maybe in April or May, right after the snow melts, you might see these flowers outside. This is called a trout lily. You might find it if you're walking in the woods. Or even this flower, which is from an apple tree, the apples we eat. Yeah, so you probably have seen this flower before in the spring. But these flowers don't last forever, and these bugs need more food. So after these flowers wilt, maybe in May we see something like this flower. This is called impatient. May to June, this flowers. But then eventually that flower goes away too. And these not so picky pollinators, they're still hungry. So in June and July, you might see something like this. This is called devil's paintbrush, really bright orange and red. And then July to August, we might see something like this. This is called black-eyed Susan. It's one of my favorites, but it's because I love the color yellow. And then August to September, right at the end, before we start getting into fall, when it gets chillier out and winter, we get something like this plant called Joe Pye weed. And it's really important that these pollinators have all of that food all spring and summer long, because eventually when it's winter time, do you see bees outside in the winter or butterflies? No. So some of these bugs, they fly south to warmer areas where there's food, so they need a lot of energy. Or they go underground and they sleep in the winter time. And they need those energies so that when spring comes again, they can wake up and get back out there. So it's really important to have wild flowers that are present all year long, which is why, as Miss Allie said, she got a native pack of seeds, and these flowers will be blooming throughout the summer and spring. One thing I also wanted to show you guys is I made a little demo. So what did I say about pollinators? They move pollen from flower to flower. So here's my, what is this? This is my little butterfly. I'm glad you could tell. So the butterfly comes in, it's flying, and it lands on the flower. And with its legs, it picks up pollen. In this case, it's that little white stuff, right? And when it's there, the butterfly might also sip on some nectar, because they have these little tongues that go into the flower and suck it up like a straw. And then it flies to another flower to get more food, and it lands, and it drops off the pollen on the center of this flower. So now this flower has been pollinated, and a few weeks or maybe even a few months go by, and the flower starts to wilt, but instead what comes up is a fruit. And this is my little blueberry as an example. So that's the importance of having pollinators, because they make fruit, which we eat, but also other animals eat too. You have a blueberry bush too? Yeah. So you probably see a whole bunch of different pollinators. Really? That's pretty fun to see. So, that's my little presentation about pollinators. And now, Miss Allie and I are going to read together this book called Make Way for Butterfly. And as you just learned, butterflies can be pollinators too, not only bees. So let's see what this book's going to share with us. Okay, let's sit down. Okay.
Alright, so the book, like my friend Julie said, is Make Way for Butterfly, and it was, since it doesn't say like writer and illustrator, it means that he was both the writer and the illustrator. His name is Ross Burach. Does anybody know what it's called when you write the book? I know that somebody has to know. What is the writer of the book called? Yes, author. Oh, I'm so glad someone finally answered. Thank you. Okay. So again, this is called Make Way for Butterfly. All right.
Hey, what are you doing?
Pollinating.
Pollen what now?
Bringing pollen from flower to flower.
Obviously, why?
Pollen helps flowers grow seeds. The seeds grow into plants that make more flowers and fruits. They all help sustain the ecosystem. It's no big deal. Just kidding! It's a very big deal.
Wow. I wish I were a very important pollinator.
You are!
Right, I knew that. Wait, you're telling me I'm a pollinator?
Yes.
And I help flowers make new flowers?
Yes.
For real?
Yes!
Wait, for me? Now what?
Just eat nectar and the pollen sticks to you.
Right. Pollen, what's pollen again?
These yellow grains here.
I thought that was cheese. Look at our ecosystem. I'm going to collect the most pollen ever. What? How did you collect so much pollen?
I have sticky hairs everywhere.
Oh, I'm not sticky enough.
It's okay. You don't need to collect as much pollen as a bee. Just be a butterfly.
Right. You're saying I need to be stickier.
That's not what he said. You're so right.
Oh, too sticky, I'm stuck. I have a question.
Yes?
It's not for me, it's for a friend.
Got it. What's the question?
Say this friend accidentally glued themselves to a flower. What advice would you give?
I'll go get some water.
Now, what are you doing?
Filling my pollen baskets to carry extra pollen.
Do I have those?
No, you don't have to carry as much pollen as a bee. Just be a butterfly.
Right. What you're saying is I need my own pollen baskets.
Are you sure you can fly with that much extra pollen?
Of course. Butterflies what I need is a jetpack.
You don't need to fly as fast as a bee. Just be a butterfly. Oh no, I can't watch.
Ecosystems, do not fear. The pollinator is here. Make way for butterfly. Crash. Ouch. I'm no help as a butterfly.
Does the jetpack work? No, jetpack would not work.
That's it. I need to be even more like a bee. I need to be fuzzier, and buzzier, and stripier, and stickier, and stingier. You can never have too many pollen baskets, and now I'm a very important pollinator.
It's not gonna work. I guess we'll find out, huh? Excuse me, have you seen butterfly?
Nope, it's just us bees. Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Too bad. I have a very important job for a butterfly.
A butterfly? Why?
As you know, we bumblebees must stay close to our nests. If only a butterfly were here to help bring this pollen to flowers far, far away.
Bee, it's actually me, butterfly. I can help. I can fly long distances.
Great! You've got this.
Just be a butterfly. Just be a butterfly.
Do you remember how Julie talked about they can eat nectar with their long noses? This is a nice illustration of what that would look like. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird looking, huh?
Flying elephant almost. I did it! I helped the ecosystem.
See, our different ways of pollinating are both very important.
You're right. From now on, I'll just be the best butterfly I can be. Or maybe a firefly.
The end.
Awesome.
I hope you like that one.
I like that one.
I did too.
Okay, so now we're going to make seed bombs. So what are seed bombs? So we're going to use clay and soil and flowers and those flower seeds that I mentioned, and we're going to make them into a little ball. So you can throw it onto the ground, it's going to break open, it's going to grow all those little flowers. So like I said, the wildflower mix that we have is specific to our area. Just as a side note, you can't, usually if you go to the store and you just buy a pack of wildflower seeds, they're usually not going to have the seeds that are specific to your area. So we have to go online and buy these in particular. So if you want to do a wildflower garden, which I highly recommend you do, you should also go online to get your seeds specifically for the Adirondack region, because it is such a diverse and beautiful area that we want to protect it as best we can, like keeping out invasive species. So we're gonna move this table over here real quick to give us more room to work. We have the seeds already alive, even more room. So squish it. Squish it. No, I don't want to squish it.